Welcome back to Expurtz. That's Tom.
That's
Loren.
me. That's you.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
Long time. It's been a
while.
It's been a chunk since we've
It's been a
sat
spell.
down.
It's been a spell. We're here today with a special list, a very special list, something that you won't see that much often anymore nowadays. Accessories aren't really a thing for consoles, really.
No.
Unless you were to count that failed project by Nintendo with a cardboard pieces.
Oh, Labos?
Yeah, Labos.
That didn't make my list.
Failed.
Huh, shocking.
No, that didn't make mine either.
It didn't make my list. It's great. If it rains, you're fucked.
Don't play outdoors.
No. You know what did make my list?
What's that?
Arcade fighting sticks.
Oh, well, that's
my honorable mention.
Yeah.
So we're right off the bat. Fighting games kind of came home from the arcade, and we were not equipped.
But they still made a really good job of putting the controls out on like controller, like mapping out the controls on a controller. Like everybody loves doing the like down circle Y to do the
on a
Hadouken
D-pad. Yeah,
stuff,
I just loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, because it shredded your thumbs.
I'm sorry. Sorry. This is a podcast. You can't see my face right now, which is rife with sarcasm.
Yeah, the arcade stick was definitely the way to go.
Or how about
for
hitting
fighting
select
games.
on the Genesis controller? That was great.
Yeah,
I gotta switch from
up
punching
select
to kicking.
A or some crap.
Yeah, just do voodoo on the second controller. No, there was two in particular that I'm thinking. So Hori always made great aftermarket controllers, and their arcade sticks are no exception. The Hori Real Arcade Pro, and then of all companies, the Mad Cats. Remember them? How much they sucked?
Yes.
Well, their arcade fighting sticks didn't. They had the Tournament Edition fight stick, so that was actually designed by the man, the myth, the legend, Daigo, which, if anybody's ever seen that Evo Moment 37, that was the guy that perfect parried the entire Justin Wong's like 17 strike combo and then came to with no health. If he missed one parry, he was dead. And he designed this fight stick, so absolutely great. I'll give the disclaimer right now. I'm not the biggest fighting game fan, and I wasn't really collecting arcade sticks. I owned one ever in my life, but there's no denying how much that improved fighting game enjoyment at home. So absolutely, it makes my list. It's my honorable mention.
My honorable mention is the Sega Channel, made by Time Warner and Sega.
Yes.
It was revolutionary at the time. Like it was the first console internet platform, and it's also the first ever mailbox for any console. That means you could actually send messages and like shit talk people. It's the first console you could shit talk people because you could play basketball against them, Mortal Kombat, whatever, and you could just like beak off. The only way I played this was with this girl I knew during I think junior high school, and I literally we were supposed to be a thing, but I literally just went there to play the Sega Channel.
Used her.
I'm such a terrible person.
This would have been 95 to 97.
Yeah.
For us, anyway. I think it was a little bit earlier in the States, but...
I only did it for a year, though. I felt terrible afterwards.
Only a year?
I can't keep doing this.
I will go into much more graphic detail about the Sega Channel later.
Okay.
Not the using and abusing.
Yeah, sorry. I am a better person nowadays.
Hey, we've all grown. We've all grown.
I totally used her just to play the Sega Channel, dude.
Hey, that's a
it
new
was
one.
on my walk from school. I was like,
that was a new one.
Anyway, that's my honorable mention.
Okay. What's your number 5, my man?
My number 5, and not a lot of people think about this nowadays, but it's the guitars for like Guitar Hero and Rock Band.
Oh yeah,
and whatnot. Like
we're gonna be on the same wavelength for our number 5s.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Not exact same, but
I mean, there was a lot of cool designs and whatnot. And talking about Mad Catz, my favorite design was actually made by Mad Catz. And
That's
it was
nuts.
it was a Telecaster for the Xbox 360.
Okay.
It
So
looked
like
really
a
cool.
very replica Fender.
Super
Right.
replica. They made a really good job out of it, but they made like several like dozen guitars for Rock Band and Guitar Hero. Like it's insane the amount of different designs they had. Like at some point in time, the 2000s, there was a boom period that if you were not able to be a musician in real life, you could in
You
your
were a
living
fake
room.
one on Rock Band, yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
I always cheated with the
How?
sync. Well, everybody always got. You know, you do the rotation. You get to play drums. You get
Yeah.
to do the guitars, or Guitar Hero anyway.
Yeah.
Rock Band, right? And then you would get stuck. Eventually, you'd have to do the
Be
singing.
the singer.
And I would just match the tone. I wouldn't even sing.
Oh, so you just like hum or
Like, just,
whatever?
like, and that's it. Like you would get 100% every single time.
No way.
Yeah, because all you had to do was match the tone. You didn't actually have to sing.
I actually didn't know that.
But yeah, same as well. Way off topic, but like that 1-2 switch game, you know, where you have to like do the
Oh, the dancing?
you don't
Yeah.
have to dance. You just have to shake the remote.
Oh man.
You win every time. It's all about shaking it to the rhythm. That's it.
But that's my number 5. Awesome guitars
Yep.
for video games.
My number 5 is right along the same path, but instead of guitar, much like how the Guitar Hero and Rock Band accessories opened up gaming to a whole new demographic of people,
Okay.
so did the dance pad.
Oh
And
my
my number
God.
5, and now this is the one rare time that
The
Tom and I
DDR
always,
pad?
Tom and I always
Yeah.
do lists based on our personal preferences. We don't do that phone it on like Kotaku. What's popular? Let's just go with those top 5.
Fuck that.
We like our own stuff. This
I could see DDR
is not
being on.
mine,
Yeah.
but my significant other, she owned a dance pad, and that might be one of the only gaming-related things she ever owned in her life, besides a like old school Game Boy.
Okay.
So you can't deny the strength of the dance pad.
No, and I remember going to arcades and seeing like dance-offs and stuff. Like I've
yeah.
seen those. I've seen lineups for those machines. Like
yeah.
fucking lineups, man. And not just lineups. I've seen lineups of like that guy or that girl is gonna stay up there until they are dethroned. So it's like it's a
Yeah.
lineup of people trying to dethrone this like super dance-off.
It's very much like the pool table in a
Yeah,
bar,
yeah.
right? Winner stays, loser pays, right?
Basically.
But yes, like this last year's the Yeg Pin, Dance Dance Revolution Ultra Mix or whatever was there.
Oh, really?
Whichever one is at Arcadium was there.
Yeah.
And lineup. As soon as like
Really?
6 o'clock and like the more adult crowd rolled in, kids were all over it too all day, but as soon as that adult crowd rolled in, there was a lineup. And anybody listening that's local, like Edmonton, you go to Rec Room on a Friday night and there's that one group of like 4 guys that absolutely kill that. Like, if you guys are listening, you guys are fucking entertaining. You're incredible. Like, keep at it, man. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
But and like as soon as they showed up, people just got out of the way and they like stayed off.
Yeah.
And they just owned
Show
the
some
DDR.
respect.
Yeah, like for the Kings. I gotta give it to him, man.
Yeah.
It's just pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Now, my number 4 was your honorable mention.
Oh, really?
So let's get into some heavy detail about
Okay.
Sega Channel here.
All right.
Contrary, it actually wasn't the first,
What?
but Sega was. They had something called the Sega MegaNet, and that was over a modem instead of over cable.
Okay.
There was only 17 games, and the biggest 2 games on that 17 were Columns 1 and
Ugh.
Flicky. So it was shit. It was also the equivalent of about $15 Canadian a month back in 1990.
So like.
And it was
70
1990.
$70 now.
We were supposed to get it, and it was going to be called the Telegenesis. It never came out, thank God. Instead, we got the Sega Channel, which was much better.
Yeah. More streamlined.
17 games? No. How about 325 overall? 50 at a time.
Yeah.
And then, well, later on, it was 70 at a time, but it was mostly 50 at a time while it ran, right? Some of those games were there monthly. Some of them rotated out.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
They would always rotate new ones in. And if you thought it was just the shit, Sonic 1, 2, and 3 was on this. Streets of Rage 1, 2, 3 was on this.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But unfortunately, some of the big boy carts had to be trimmed to fit on this. Like Super Street Fighter 2, they got rid of a lot of content.
Oh, because they couldn't like put it up.
Couldn't
to
actually
the frame
fit it
rate,
on the cart.
Oh, really?
Because you had to plug a cart into your Genesis and then download to that cart.
Okay.
You actually couldn't fit the whole game, so they had to trim it down. Unfortunately, but everything else about it, it was expensive as balls. It was $20 Canadian in '94, which would be $37 or $38 today, including the massive kick in the can inflation we've got over the past year or so.
Yeah.
You would have, but let's just compare that to like PSN Premium, which is $16 a month, roughly. It's what, $189 Canadian a year.
Yeah.
Cool. And then Game Pass Ultimate, when we wrote this episode, was $18.99.
Yeah, it was cheap.
Microsoft has fucked us again, and now it's $22.99.
It's not that much more, though.
No, like $22.99 a month for what you get on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Not bad. You guys notice a trend, though? This is like Game Pass Ultimate, PSN Premium.
Yeah.
It's literally Sega Genesis all over again. The Sega Channel set this tone.
Yeah. They need a pat on the back,
then.
damn it.
And on it, like, if you hindsight back, games typically cost like
$60.
Well, like cheap end, 60, 70,
60,
80.
But the good ones, like the really good ones, like $80.
Yeah, Streets of Rage 2, 3, $80 game.
Yeah.
And you got access to these for $20 a month back then.
It was a no-brainer.
It was great.
Yeah.
You also got games like Alien Soldier, which never came out here.
Yeah.
You got games like Wily Wars, which Tom doesn't give a shit about.
Yeah, because Mega Man on the Sega was never good, damn it, Loren, you know this.
That's another episode, boys. We'll go talk
a
about
standalone Mega Man episode to get this
We'll
rage
put
out.
Wily Wars up against Ninja Gaiden Trilogy, and
Hey,
I'm gonna win. Anyway,
ouch.
The everything else about this though, like the Primal Rage tournament, which was really cool, or like if you beat it within like that 24-hour period of it coming out, then you called a number and you were entered for a prize. It had a demo for Primal Rage on it.
So Primal Rage, guys, for any of
things.
you that have never played it before,
It was shit.
you play some like dinosaur or a monkey of some kind, and you basically bite, claw, fart, and burp in your opponent's face, and to regen health during the game, you pick up these little humans on the ground and you like swallow one back, right, to regen your health. That's the whole game. You just burp
Pretty
and
much.
fart, and it's like, haha, see that fart? He farted in his face, and it gave him 20 damage.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but at the time it was pretty.
At the time, it was hilarious.
It was
for a
a
rental.
pretty game. That's why everybody wanted to play it, right? And Sega got a big draw by having this online tournament, essentially. For anybody that beat the game within the first 24 hours of it being put on Sega Channel, you got entered for a prize. Canada had to add Canadian content or it wouldn't be allowed because it went over broadcast.
That's true.
It had to follow CRTC's rules, which anybody not listening from Canada, you have to have Canadian content, 10% minimum on this particularly, or you weren't allowed to have the service whatsoever. So they front-loaded the shit out of this with EA games, just to, like, all the EA Canada games, NHL, all the sports games. That's how they got around it.
Yep,
so
smart.
you got, I mean, hey, you also got NHL 95, 96, whichever ones.
The best one, 96.
Yeah, it's up there, I would say.
Yeah, Sega Channel.
That's Sega Channel. My number 4, your honorable mention, and probably 50% more information you wanted than.
Yeah, I guess supposed to.
Nobody really cares this much about it, except me.
Yeah.
So, your number 4, sir.
Mine is it shouldn't count as an accessories, but it is. It's extended female to male and RCA cable, so that you can hook up your console that takes RCA jacks to a receiver to have the proper type of music coming out.
So, audiophile Tom is cheating on yet another list.
Yeah.
I accept this one though. This is good.
This was a game changer. I've been the guy for like the past 2 decades that would bring his Super Nintendo or N64 to someone's house and a receiver, and then I would literally just change the jacks on the and plug it in to whatever sound system people had or whatnot. I would find a way. I always found a way, right? And it just changed a lot more.
You spread the good word too, the gospel of better sound, right?
Look, guys, look what you're missing out on.
That you could hook this up to your stereo? You didn't? Here, allow me to show you how.
Yeah, I'm that annoying guy, and I did that several times.
That actually reminds me when I had like my N64 at that time. That was when I bought my first like good home stereo. I had Kenwood JL707s.
Oh, those were.
And I think
spicy meatball.
It was a 4-channel amp with a preamp, and then like a Dolby Pro Logic decoder that my brother-in-law gave me. And I hooked up for GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And the pause music, that's when I first...
Pause music.
Holy fuck, does that pound? Like,
but yeah, that's my number 4.
That's a great 4, man.
Yeah, it's
cheating, but it's a good 4.
It's cheating, I know, but it's like something I've done for a long time, forever. Because I never liked, back then when you had CRT TVs, like... You could crank that thing up as loud as you can, and it gets all distorted and shit. And being able to like put it through a sound system, that was a game changer. Not everybody had that opportunity growing up. They just had the TV with the speaker on the TV, and that was that. Right?
Yep.
So that's mine.
Fair.
How about you, sir?
You're number 3.
Oh, my number 3. Okay. So my number 3. And it's a easy throwaway, but it meant a big deal to me at the time, and that's the PS2 multi-tap.
It's your 3, but you're calling it a throwaway?
Yeah, because
I get it now. You know, every console has
4-player adapters
or online multiplayer, but it didn't always.
It's because I think it started with a Nintendo or the Atari or something. I forget.
I'd have to look in. I never personally knew of an Atari one.
Yeah.
I can't think of an Atari 4-player game, but NES absolutely.
Yeah, NES and also Sega when it came, Sega Genesis.
Everything after, like everything Nintendo up.
But for when PlayStation and PlayStation 2 came out, the reason that I'm using the 4-player adapter as my pick is that you weren't able to play 8 people on a console on the same soccer team or the same football team.
Right.
And then if you had another friend come down with their PS2 and you system linked and they also had 2 multi-taps, you could play like you'll find 16 people, but you could technically have 8 versus 8 at some sports games. You could do 4v4 at hockey. Same thing with basketball. You could do a battle royale for Fire Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
it was really cool at the time, especially like lots of the beat 'em ups that came out around that time and sports games. Because before that, sports games were sprites, and all you could ever do was like 4 people. You could do 4 people for PS2, but the fact that you could also plug in 2 4-player multi-taps per console and memory cards for every slot was pretty cool that the system could do.
Yeah.
It's not everything that's like, oh yeah, all my shit's on this memory card. How are we gonna figure this out? Put it in the fucking multi-tap. It'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh no, I 100% support that choice. I just think it's too low.
I know, right? Comparing it to the N64, it's like, well, N64 was 4 players and GameCube was 4 players. Why are you using a multi-tap?
Well, not everybody can be as perfect as Nintendo.
Yeah, they have their up and
including Nintendo.
Yeah, including.
Which I'll talk about right now, because my number 3 is the NES Zapper. Oh. And the reason I'm saying that is because almost every company has designed a better light gun than Nintendo.
Yeah.
Especially when it clicks, doesn't click,
it's a sweet
clangs every time you pull that trigger. Clang,
really
clang,
cool.
clang. It's so annoying.
It's annoying, yeah, maybe for your parents at the time.
Even me now. Because I still have an old school setup. I have a CRT in the corner of my game room, right? I almost 99% of the time I have a 28-inch 4K monitor on the wall now. Almost everything goes through that.
Yeah.
Including old consoles.
Yeah.
I really need to get one of those like Micom Soft super upscalers that has like no delay whatsoever. and then I'll put damn near everything on it. Except
That's like super nerding out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except light guns, because they don't work.
Yeah.
You have to have a CRT, because there's zero delay on a CRT, and that's why these still work. But I gotta admit, I can't stand the sound of that damn thing. It was the games, man. It was Hogan's Alley. It was
Hell yeah.
Gumshoe, which is like, Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt was fun.
Wild Gunman. Like, Hogan's Alley is amazing.
Hogan's Alley is one of my favorite ones.
Wild Gunman's pretty cool. It's just all about reaction time, right? Like Gumshoe will come up in another list in the near future.
Such a classic
me.
game.
And I mean, if you were listening to the beginning of this podcast, that's the song that it's level 1 of Gumshoe.
Guilty.
It's phenomenal. But more so, it was like, just think of when they first came out.
They were gray and cool.
Like, your parents and your family and your uncles and everything were like, "What's that?" And it wasn't Mario. Like, they would try Mario, but they were like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
But the light gun games, they were all over it, because it kind of reminded them of like that, like
BB gun arcade,
penny
air
arcade,
rifle.
yeah, like
arcade,
the penny arcade
totally.
BB gun kind of thing, right? So everybody loved that. Like, it was a totally fun family experience when the Zapper first came out.
Yeah.
Lethal Enforcer's blue gun, orange gun? No. Nobody cared. Your uncle didn't want to play that unless he was cool like me. No, it's the NES Zapper. That's why it's in my list.
Did you own the
orange or the
illegal
gray?
one or the legal one?
The which? Oh, the orange one or the gray one?
Yeah.
So I originally had the gray.
Yeah.
I currently have the orange. Because, yeah.
I have both.
Do you want to explain that one, Tom?
Yeah. So when this came out, there was like, is the word scrutiny? There was scrutiny towards the gray gun.
There won't someone think of the children?
Like, seriously, like, why would you see
Conservative America
kids, why would
went
you see kids holding
nuts.
a pistol and shoot a real-looking gun
Yes.
at a TV? So Nintendo
And
had to come back.
Tom's putting a picture of the Zapper on screen right now. Who in their right
Like, how does this look like a gun?
mind thinks that's like, oh my god, that 7-year-old has a gun in his own basement. He's gonna shoot the screen. Oh no!
So Nintendo came back like literally the following year and changed it to orange.
They just changed it to blaze orange. Which,
So if you have a gray gun, hold on to that. That's going to be a hot ticket item eventually.
yeah, maybe.
But
Who
yeah,
knows?
that's a good one. I like the Zapper.
I like the Zapper. My number 2 is I think deserves to be number 2.
Well,
Some
you're
might
pausing
argue-
to the point where man, look at me, I'm shaking. I need to know.
So I can't pick one. It's one or the other. I think they were both
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay.
valuable.
One of these.
But one was huge in the size of lawsuit it had to go up against the big N. Talking about the Game Genie.
Oh man, I never owned the Game Genie. I had several friends that owned the Game Genie and the Game Shark.
I think, as far as just a typical accessory, it took your existing games and it gave them new life.
Yeah.
Because you could cheat. You could get unlimited height on your jump in Mario. You could be invincible. You could
be in the
have
frog suit the whole game.
unlimited missiles in Metroid. You could have all sorts of cheat codes, right? Which nowadays, like, that's the mod community.
Yeah, it is.
But game cheat, like, it is a very simplified cheating.
That was the mod community back then.
Yeah.
Was Game Genie.
I almost guarantee this was the most rented game in 1990.
That's
Was
right.
Game
You
Genie.
could rent the Game Genie.
And
forgot about
I
that.
think the Game Shark was, like, that stepped in later on, and it was like
Yes.
the PS1 version.
It
was
was
like
the
memory
new
card.
gen of Game Genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, like the memory card slot, right?
Yeah.
The Saturn, the Game Shark is overpowered.
Absolutely.
It's like it's a 4 meg cart. You plug it in. It completely bypasses region restrictions, so now
Yeah.
you can play Japanese games on your American Saturn.
Yeah,
or
you had
vice
to do
versa.
that, so it was awesome. Fire Pro Wrestling, 6-man scramble.
Yep. Just unbelievably powerful. Game Genie, what was it, Galoob? Or whatever, or
Yes.
Mattel or Galoob?
Yes, Gloob.
They faced a massive lawsuit over this. And it turns out
They lost.
No, they won.
Oh,
didn't
they won. Yes, they did. They did. Because they didn't actually alter the system at all.
It didn't alter the system. It altered the play of the game, but you could unplug it and the game was perfectly fine afterwards. Yeah. That's how they got around it. But yeah, so then that was right around that time too that Nintendo was trying to fight rentals, period.
Yeah, fuck, god damn it, Nintendo.
I know, right? Yeah. What a time.
If only they knew how good they had it with rentals. Just they're mad that they'd sell the game and never make fucking profit off it.
I mean, I understand their side of it too, because renting games was illegal in Japan.
It is.
You're not allowed to, period. And they thought, well, why can't that be the same in America? Different country.
Yeah,
right?
Can't
different
do that.
country, different rules. And they went, fine. And that's why every Americanized NES games are stupid
harder. Yeah. I heard of that too. Some people say it's just like it's a spooky story. It's not real.
No, it's 100% real. They fully admit it, that they told their developers, Americanize those games, toughen them right up. And then that's when Game Genie came like at the same time, and they were like, well, no, now you guys can beat every game.
By the way, dude, they had a fucking advertisement in a Super Nintendo or Sega or Electronic Monthly magazine back in the day, way back in the day.
Yeah.
And first prize was that you got this badass fucking Game Genie like jacket. And it looked wicked.
Like the melt
I'll put
leather?
a picture of it. But
yes.
Yeah, like the dude is on it. Like it's super fucking bright.
Yeah,
it
man.
almost like kills your eyes. It's really loud.
Yeah, dude.
That's a great pick, man. I owned a Game Shark for the N64. And I rented actually a Game Genie. So
Pro Action Replay, that's what it is on Saturn. It's not Game Shark.
Yeah, Pro Action Replay.
Pro Action Replay.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, that's overpowered.
Very.
Like that one specifically is the best out of all of them.
I agree.
So that's my number 2.
I like it. Oh man, my number 2. So
your number 2.
This is going to fall on a lot of deaf ears because you guys have to be old.
I agree with this. So we have each other's list, and I'm just looking at it for the first time now. I like to keep surprise. I agree with this.
So ColecoVision and Intellivision back in 1982 and 83, the ColecoVision made an expansion module number 1 in 82, and Intellivision did the system changer in 83. Okay. Both of these basically allowed you to play Atari 2600 games to your console. So you just have to like ram it into your console. Pow!
Yep.
Just ram that fucker in there. Now you have this big ugly looking thing before Sega Genesis ever made something bigger, right?
The power-based converter.
But yeah, now you're able to play on ColecoVision and Intellivision Atari 2600 games. And you know what? For a lot of people, that doesn't mean a lot, but that means that you could play 2600 games on a higher powered system that would actually make it feel more true to the arcade, which is why you wanted to do this. Because
Atari's biggest argument back in the day when Intellivision came out that was better, had better graphics, and ColecoVision had straight up did have better graphics. Like,
yes.
Everything was more powerful on the ColecoVision. Their biggest claim was, well, yeah, but we got the games.
We got the games, so...
Well, now you don't.
And you know what? Both companies got taken to court by Atari 2600.
Yes.
And both companies lost.
Yes.
Because they were using on-the-shelf product, and there's nothing illegal about that.
No.
So... They took them both and they lost both times.
Atari has a pretty terrible track record on taking people to court.
Yeah, really do.
But this was what was the basis for essentially all video game copyright after this.
Absolutely. It started in 82.
Atari just really ran to market without even thinking about protecting all their own shit.
Yeah.
And it was after this that everything got tightened up, and that's why Nintendo wins every damn lawsuit that they break. Which, that's another argument for another day.
Yeah, that's a really long argument.
Yes. So. We have to have that debate one day, because I think we're going to fall just barely on the other side of the fence from each other.
Probably.
I think. But yeah.
That's my number 2. So
I like that.
And it worked really well. I had this for the Intellivision 2. Like, I had an Intellivision 2 with a system changer on it. The thing is, with the first Intellivision, okay, if you wanted this mod, you actually have to bring in to an electronics store with the part, have someone install it for you unless you knew how to. Pay them, I don't know, like $10 or $12 at the time.
Like a Radio Shack or like more electronic analyst kind of thing?
Something like that. And then boom. So it would be like part of inside of your console. But for the Intellivision 2, it was just an exterior adaptive
it was a car converter.
Plastic thing. Yeah.
Just a car converter. I had the ColecoVision and it was just a car converter.
Yeah.
Right. I think it was $10.
Yeah.
And you just plugged it. You plugged the Atari into it, or your VCS cartridge into it.
Yeah.
And then that into your ColecoVision, and boom, off to the races.
Yeah. So and also, that would have made both. I think, would it be ColecoVision or Intellivision? I think that would make Intellivision at the time the console with the most games, because it would have.
Yeah, ColecoVision was late to the game.
Yeah.
I think it was 82 and 83 was when disaster struck. So
yeah, so I think that would make Intellivision with the largest game console library.
Yeah.
So
okay, so let's recap quick for Tom. We've got honorable mention with Sega Channel. Boo, that should be higher. I'm actually shocked guitars should be up there too.
I went to a lot of parties and basement parties that had these Guitar Hero things going on, man.
RCA female to male extenders.
Yep.
Your multi-tap, but specifically the multi-tap is the one you chose for your number 3. Number 2, ColecoVision expansion module or Intellivision one.
Yep.
And your number 1
is the Tremor Pack Plus for the Nintendo 64. Right. This came out in 1999. It was made by Performance, and you know what? This thing was cool because it had an extra slot at the end of the pack that you put in, so you could put a memory card into it.
So is that the difference between the regular Tremor Pack?
Yeah, the regular Tremor Pack just did Rumble. The Tremor Pack Plus, you could put a memory card
like
into
daisy
it.
chain a memory card. Okay.
And then you had 2 switches on it, a high and a low, and the high was definitely fucking more rumbly than the original Rumble Pack, and I'll go to the grave with that one.
Yeah.
And then also, you had another switch that said Rumble or Save, so after the end of each game, you could play on Rumble, click it over, click Save, instead of having to remove your Rumble Pack, put your memory card in, click Save, remove your memory card, put your Rumble Pack back in, press start again.
Man,
so it was really cool to just be able to flick it over, you know?
The hoops us N64 apologists would jump through for that fucking console.
Back then, there was no such thing as Rumble controllers. Those were not a thing yet, man. So
no, they were cool.
It was really cool.
Was it really only $15?
Yeah, it's still probably only $15.
Yeah.
Like, best $15 you could ever spend, man. And the only difference, too, with these is that because they weight so much, sometimes, like, when people would want to, like, change their batteries out or something, it would, like, get out of the slot. So if you had a couple of these, you would, like, keep it for yourself and just give them the Rumble Pack instead, you know? Just, but also it weighed a bit. So it probably weighs as much as the Duke controller for original Xbox.
Oh, dude. I'm still going out there. That thing was comfortable.
It was a really comfortable controller. I agree.
No,
but that's my number 1, Tremor Pack Plus for Nintendo 64.
Fair. Okay, my recap really quick. My 6th was the arcade sticks.
Very
specifically cool. Arcade sticks. Yeah. My number 5.
Does that mean the NES Advantage too?
I mean, why not?
Okay.
But no, I'm more thinking like when the arcade fighters came home.
Okay.
So like that PS2, Xbox era. My number 5 was dance pads. Every gamer's girlfriend's best friend. Don't send hate mail. I was just quick on that. Sega Channel, number 4.
Yep.
NES Zapper, specifically number 3. Even though it's one of the worst light guns. It's all about the games, kids. Game Genie, Game Shark, Pro Action Replay, and whatever other ones there are.
I'm trying to think of another one. I can't think of another.
Gary's Mod.
Accessory. Gary's Mod.
Gary's Mod. And number 1, my all-time. He already said it, but I'm going with it in general. It's the multi-tap.
Yeah, man. Multi-tap is a big
think, especially the Super Nintendo Genesis era, that this was massive.
Yeah, it was.
It made Bomberman possible.
Yep.
It made NHL 94 and upwards So much more fun
Hell
when you
yeah.
can play 4 or for that 1 year 5.
5, yeah.
If you were unlucky enough to own a Saturn, we all got picked on, but I owned a Saturn, and my buddy had Bomberman,
Yeah.
and we gathered as many damn Saturn controllers as we could get. We only ever got 6 people, but you can actually play 10.
Yeah, that's right.
10-person widescreen Bomberman on an old CRT is fucking chaos, man.
Yeah, I imagine.
Like the Switch version, you can only play 8. So that 10 people, I'd have to look and see if it was ever in another game, but I'm pretty sure the Saturn is the only one.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. If you had a TurboGrafx, you knew that you couldn't play multiplayer unless you had a Turbo Tap. Because it was a 1-controller port console. You had to plug in the Turbo Tap and then plug 2 controllers into it just to play 2-player. Like you poorly designed console, but fun.
Yeah.
Turbo Tap, absolutely vital if you wanted 2-player anything. The Super Nintendo, the multi-tap that came with Bomberman, that's the one I have. It has Bomberman's face on it. It's wicked. I think I have a Hori one too that I got for like $5 somewhere at a grad sale. I think it was vital because
It was.
if those multi-taps or Turbo Tap or whatever you want to call them, if they didn't exist, then I don't think Nintendo pushes for 4 controller ports in the N64.
Yeah.
I don't
that's
think
true.
Xbox, which in-house multiplayer, Halo, buddy.
Really cool. Absolutely. Great times. with
Like,
that.
what a great time, man. And that's all, it all stems from the multi-tap and guys like us buying them and proving that they were viable and
Absolutely.
that we wanted it. And because of that, everything revolved into the 4-player and now the online multiplayer that we see today.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for that.
The evolution of the console.
LAN gaming, like, man, everything kind of came from multi-tap.
Absolutely.
So that's my number 1. That's 100%. How did we fuck up this list, Tom?
How did we fuck up this list?
Yeah.
I don't think we did.
Oh, someone will tell us we did.
I mean,
Down in the comments right now.
I think we did good.
I think so, yeah. I like this list. Let's lock it in, man. We're done.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.